And I think that's important because you don't want to, as you're coming to the end of the season and, we have to face Danbury for our final 2 games. You don't want to go into those those last couple games and not give it your all. Because then you're going to get, kind of in that zone where you're like, oh, well, we didn't really have to play these guys. They're not really that important. We're not going to see them again after this. And then you go into the playoffs with that mindset, and that's just the wrong mindset to have. That's where I really like the way that, Q talks and the way that Brant talks is that, Brant looks at everything day by day. Q is looking at things as, these are playoff games to us. Like, we're treating things as a playoff game. And that's something that, and I've talked about this even after you did the interview with Q, is the way that he's able to talk about things and the way that he, he really changes, your viewpoint on stuff. And I almost think that Q needs to sit down in a room with Paulin and really kind of talk to him about some stuff, and maybe he'll change his mind about some things, or maybe he'll have a different outlook on how hockey's supposed to go. But I definitely I appreciate everything that they have been doing, and because I don't remember if it was last season or the first season that we were always talking about the guys not playing the full 60. They're not playing the full 60. That was a constant thing that was being brought up.
Right.
And we haven't talked about that.
At all this year.
That's not something that's been brought up.
No.
And, it's been they came out firing the first period and then they really closed it the third period, or, we talk about periods in certain aspects, but nothing has been brought up about, they didn't play this period or they didn't play this game.
It's a good point.
And that's something that I really appreciate this season.
Yeah, no, it's a very good point. All right, so he talks then about the Prowlers.
I was tremendously proud of our group, and I thought it was a amazing effort, physically and mentally. Our guys were just pretty focused and ready to go, and knew what they needed to do. And we played a heavy and hard game, and finished our hits, played super clean, and I think it really rocked the Prowlers' world, to be honest. I don't think they expected us to play that way, and we kind of bullied them. And, not only bullied them physically, but, also in the game of hockey as far as skill-wise. So I'm super proud of, how the guys went to battle for one another and stuck up for one another, but also kept their cool at the right points in the game. I thought our special teams were phenomenal, and just our overall puck pursuit and just hunting on the forecheck, it was awesome to see. And I saw a completely different Port Huron team than I saw at the beginning of the year.
Wow. Okay, so what was interesting about that was he said heavy and hard, that they brought basically the game that Port Huron usually plays, they brought it to them, which is essentially how we assessed it on Sunday when we talked about this game, which was we said they brought the physicality 100% to Port Huron. And I don't think Port Huron knew what to do with that. They knew to fight. They dropped the gloves. There were 4 fights in the game, but I don't think they knew how to react towards that.
Yeah, I think Port Huron, the only thing they know how to do is fight. If you look at literally all of their games this season, I'm sure you probably couldn't find 2 games where they didn't fight.
Right.
So it seems like that's kind of the only thing they know how to do. And if it works, it obviously worked for them. They're in second place. So I'm assuming the momentum must carry through. But, to hear the differences between Brant and Paulin, the way they talk about the games and stuff like that, very different perspectives, very different views, and I don't think Brant's view would be any different if the score was reversed at the end of the night. I still think that Brant would kind of have the same kind of view. Paulin, I don't know. It's half the time